And this is the bad boy we're going to be working on today. We're going to be working on the carburetor. We took it outside, ran it, and it's okay. It's got some dirt kind of running through the main line of it, so I'll show you that. And look at this. Dun, 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 dun. The Hanger Queen has found her new home. Yep, it's pretty awesome. All right, let's get back to this right now.
Hey, welcome back to the shop. It's really good to see you here again.
Okay. All right, so that's the diaphragm right there. And usually if you're going to have problems with a plane, it's going to be from this area here. This one looks really good. I've seen them with wrinkles and cracks in them, and that's when they stop working effectively for your carburetor. So that's when you have to get them replaced. And there are lots of kits available out there for you on Amazon or other places. Yeah, this one's kind of stuck down really hard. Oh man. I might have to replace this one simply because it is really jammed down hard. I'm going to go get another little screwdriver here and see if I can kind of pop it up without damaging it. If not, I've got another one, so I should be in good shape either way. I'm just going to wrestle it, take my chances. Oh, they're stretching. Yeah. Holy cow. Looks like I'm going to have to get a new one. Golly. Yeah, it just kind of tore that up. There's like a second layer here. Maybe that's what happened. Oh man, that thing is crispy though. Well, guess what? This just worked its way into a redo. All right, so I'm looking around here. Looks like everything other than this diaphragm I just destroyed is okay. I think I need to pull the door on the other side because I think that is the side that's got the screen. It's been a while since I've opened one of these up, but anyways, yeah. Let's see if I can pop up the rest of this diaphragm. And like I said, we'll put a new one on her. Didn't know we were going to be doing that today. Gosh, these things are just... Hey, what can I say? 20 years. I was amazed the dang thing started. Yeah. Yeah, it's great. The diaphragm's coming off in little pieces. This might not be the way to do this at home, by the way. There's a lot of stuff here. There's a float down in there. You gotta not damage. Oh man, this is just crazy, crazy ugly. Yeah, it's like that diaphragm piece has just become at one with the carburetor.
I feel like a dental hygienist right now, trying to clean up all the damage from the bad diaphragm. So the good news is the engine ran. The bad news is that in doing the maintenance I should have decided to do anyway, I think I would have discovered that this diaphragm is just crispier than crispy. Looks like you've got a cavity next to your filling there, Mr. Gellner. Yuck. All right, so now the real problem is I've got a bunch of little pieces of chewed up diaphragm stuck in there. Let's take a look at a fresh one. Now I ordered a bunch of these kits. They come from China, but the nice thing about them is they're fairly cheap. I think I got like a 2 or 3 pack here for $10. Looks like it's got a few more than that in there. But there's all the parts, and the nice thing about these parts is they work across several different models. And you can see all the other parts that are in there too. See, everything that's in here is in there in this kit. And they make these things, they put them with screens on there, so if you got screens you want to replace, then you can do that. There's the fine screen that goes in the other side, I think. I might have to go over there anyways. And then, you know, so everything's in there. All the floats, all the jets, everything's in there. So, let's go ahead and get that open. I'm going to try to clean up that area so we can get any parts of the diaphragm out of there that are still there. So, let's see what we want to do here. I want to get a clean cloth so I can clean this out. This is not a clean cloth, but it'll work. And just try to get as much. I don't want any foreign objects inside the diaphragm bay. Yeah, that's pretty weird. Boy, that was really on there big. Okay, I think that'll work. So let's go ahead and reset here. We'll put this guy here into place, and so they got the locking pins on the edges there. And didn't touch anything on the inside, so we should be okay there. Just need to grab this diaphragm here. Put it into place. Oops, it's backward. Okay. Oh, get on there. All right, so that's all in position. Let's go and put the door on. And I remember when I took the door off of it, the vent hole was facing the head. And that's the way it's been from the beginning. So that's good. So anyways, fairly easy operation to do. You're just kind of replacing parts with new parts. And then we'll screw these down. I will not tighten them, but I'll get them so that they're all threaded and ready to go. This particular screwdriver is just a little bit too shallow, so it's trying to bounce out of the heads as I put them down. I suspect this one's cross-threaded, so I'm going to back it all the way out. And no, it's just punchy. Okay, I'm I'm going to go get another screwdriver and torque that one down. And then after that, I'll flip it over. We'll pull the other panel on the other side and get to that screen. All right, so I've got the spacewalker flipped over now, and it's, look at this. You can see in this tube that brown gunk. See those chunks in there? Yeah, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead, and I do not want those going further. So there's a little bit of fuel still left in that line. We're going to pull it out and see if I can get those chunks. Look at that. Oh yeah, those are the chunks that were in the line of the fuel. So that's cleaned out. I guess the next thing I'll do is I'll go ahead and put my I'll put that filter on there so no further can get in there. But let's go ahead and open this section up now. There's a filter underneath there as well, so we'll go ahead and pull that off. And once again, you know, those carburetor kits are really cool because they've got all the parts that you need if you need to replace filters or floats or jets or anything. It's all in there. It's probably a good idea if you go online to try to figure out how a Walbro carburetor fits. And so anyways, we're looking right there. Okay. So this is a rubber piece. Oh my gosh, I have a feeling this one's a crispy critter too. We might as well just replace the whole dang thing. Holy cow. Oh, this is crazy. Okay, it's a good thing we're doing this because I don't know if you can see that. Let me zoom down here. Oh yeah, it's right there. I could see it on the screen here. Look at this. This is a screen right here. And look at all the crap that's in it. I mean, yep. Pretty impressive. So, anyways, that's one of the screens. I'll go ahead and get that screen out of there. It's a good thing we're doing this. I feel kind of bad. I don't usually put inline filters on my planes because usually I'm starting off with a brand new engine and it hasn't, you know, sat for a long time like this one has. But yeah, this is not the tool to be doing this with. I'm going to go get something so I can pull up the entire screen that's down there. But it looks like, you know, here's the part that came off it. I've got a matching part down below in that rebuild kit, so I'll go ahead and put a new one in there. And yeah, boy, that's crazy bad. Okay, I'll be right back. All right, I've got my fancy set of fine point tweezers here. Let's see exactly what we can get out of this. I'll put this over here. Yeah, this is pretty impressive. There's a screen in there. If I could just grab, there we go. It's starting to come out. Wow, that is a freaking mess. Look at that. Just full of stuff. Okay, so I'll get that cleaned out. And then we'll go down in here and try to get, there's stuff underneath here still too. So I'll see what I can do as far as, maybe I'll put a piece of paper towel down in there. Try to get all the gas and particles out of it and clean this screen before we put it back in there. I don't know if yeah, there is a replacement screen. So I'll just put in the whole new screen. Okay. Yep, paper towel. Got a piece of paper towel shoved in there and see how much of this we can get out. Oh yeah, look at that. Just all down in the bottom. It's going to be a little bit of a struggle to get every little piece out of there. And mind you, some of it probably could pass through to the engine and hopefully it won't do any damage to it, but it will find its way out the exhaust port. I'm going to try to get that port as clean as I possibly can. Wow. Wow. And it was running so good too. I mean, for having that much crap in there, I was able to get this thing to idle very nicely and have a very nice high end on it. It's ready to fly again. It wants to. But got to do a little maintenance. Okay, so I got that out of the bottom of the bowl here. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put in a new screen, which they've got one in here. Oh, there it is right there. A lot of guys that I know who fly Zenoa engines and anyone with a Walbro carburetor like these, a lot of guys will take these screens out. And I don't like to do that just for the purpose I just showed you. Look at all that crap it stopped in its time. This one's going to be tricky here. We're going to have to fight it. Okay. Yeah, it wants to fight. It's got to be a trick to putting these in. That's close. It is a metal mesh, so it's very bendable. I think what happens is you got to get it down into the bottom there and then just kind of form it to the cavity to make it work correctly. I think we're there. Yeah, okay. So that's in. Do not like the way it's sticking up on the one side, but maybe that's the side that you're supposed to be able to grab it from. But it's in there. It's going to stop stuff. Once again, here's the old one. I mean, look at all the gunk in it. Yuck. Maybe I will go ahead and stick this one back in there. I think it's fine. I mean, this one doesn't have any parts that really need to be supple or whatever you want to call it. And maybe before I do that, I will wipe the top of this down. Okay. And yeah, this one is all held in with one screw. And I've got it upside down. Or do I? Wait a minute. It's got to go this way. And it's got to go either that way or this way. The bolt holes are that way, so it's got to go this way. It's the only way it'll fit, Dan. Okay, so we got that. And then, let's see here. It goes up here. Get that back on there. Drops right into place. And we'll go ahead and reset the screw on it. All right. Now, the only thing I really want to do is put the inline filter on here. I had it a minute ago. Well, as luck may have it, the battery ran out just as I tightened the screw back on there. So now we're back up on the top side again, and I'm going to put the inline filter. Let's see here. Where do I want it? That's the throttle linkage. Yeah, we'll put it about right here. Okay, so very simple install. Just got barbs. Barb 1, bar 2. I tighten this thing down because that's the biggest problem I've ever had with these kind of fuel filters is they'll loosen up over time, and if they do, what happens is it will let air into the carburetor, and you don't want that through the fuel line. It'll pull some pretty big bubbles in there. Okay, so that is now all back in position. I think I'll push this fuel line back into the fuselage just a little bit. Okay, so this is pretty much ready to go at this time. Now that I got all that crud out of the screens, and what's going to happen is I have a feeling the fuel tank is going to continue to throw stuff into the carburetor. So that should stop it now. Keep the fuel supply that's clean in there. I replaced the diaphragm on the bottom with the new one. And this is, you'd be really surprised, just changing the diaphragm on it often will, if you ever start having problems with an engine just out of the blue, that is typically what needs to happen, is that diaphragm needs to be changed out because it's either gotten old or got a wrinkle in it or something like that, and they don't flow the fuel as nicely as they should. So anyway, we put a new screen into the carburetor top up there, cleaned out that really scary old screen. Holy crud. It'll be good. So that should fix it. We're going to put the cowl on next and start working on other flight systems. Like the radio is pretty much set up, so I guess we're done there. But like I said, I do want to rebalance this thing. It needs some work. So anyways, that's our next step. Okay, so I went out and ran it to make sure everything still worked well, and it started up and everything. I do have a little bit of a leak that's showing up. I found that there's a plastic block. If you go back and look at the footage that I showed you before, there's a plastic block there, and it had fuel coming out of the joint between the carburetor and the block itself. It's been around for a while, so what I did was I ordered a new plastic block. It's a nylon or something like that, but it's got some ports cut into it to make sure that the fuel flows kind of like down a slot and then into the carburetor. It's a complicated thing. You can't just, stick like a gasket or anything over it. So I've ordered a new one. Hopefully it'll be here sometime in the next week or so. So we got a little bit of a delay there, but that's okay because I got other things I want to get done on this. I would kind of like to fix this right here. And I'd kind of like to make sure that the plane, I think I said before, I need to CG it, make sure it's in balance. And I'm going to balance this propeller because, over time, the propeller can become out of weight because of the way that, stupid things like fuel soaking into it over time has, weighted down one blade more than another. So I'm going to make sure that everything is all copacetic, since I got a little bit of a rain delay I've got to take care of anyways. So once again, thanks for coming today, and I hope you learned something. And if you have any questions or anything, put them in the comments down below. I try to answer everything that I can see. It comes over my YouTube feed in my studio settings, and most of the time I get to see those, and some of the time people write them, and I swear I never saw them, and then 2 months later they're there, and it's like, where did that come from? But anyways, I try to get to them as much as I can. But until next time, hey, get out there and get building something. Yeah.